From now, we will learn decision tree, especially we will study target case. Before we start, I recommend you to watch this video. So you may want to copy and paste this link, or just search YouTube for this title, How Target Uses Habits Manage Store. And after you watch this video, you can understand how the firm target segmented consumers and what kind of promotion activities they did. To explain consumer segmentations using decision tree, I use this textbook, Marketing Analytics, and again, this book is available online. If you visit the library website and search for this textbook, I showed you how to search for this textbook, and the chapter is 25. Let's define a decision tree. Decision tree is a decision support tool that uses a tree-like graph of decisions and their possible consequences, or simply the relationship between X variables. Decision means X variables, and consequences means Y variable here. And one nice thing is decision tree displays an algorithm just like this. And you may wonder why it is called a tree. Usually this is a tree, but if you make it upside down, it might look like this. And this is just like this one, similar to this tree. So there is a root, and then it kind of split in a certain way, like this. Let's take a look at some examples in the textbook. Predict whether a family was likely to purchase a Canadian savings bond, or will a family purchase or not a riding mower? Will a person suffer a heart attack or not? Will a voter vote Republican or not? Something like that. So in many cases, we make a decision of why and yes or no. Okay, especially we focus on yes, and our decision is affected by our characteristics, or the consumer decision is affected by customers' characteristics. And so this kind of all kind of these examples represent decision tree, and eventually decision tree will determine simple classification rules that can be understood by people with little statistical training, because we will use graphs, and especially because it is related to classification rules. We learned segmentation. Last time, so far, the takeaway of this course is data determines data analysis. So depending on whether a variable is discrete or continuous, we chose different univariate analysis. And in case of bivariate analysis, if both x and y are discrete, then we will use decision tree like this. Then let's take a look at the example in the textbook, Greek yogurt example. Here, the purpose is to determine a simple rule to determine whether a person will buy Greek yogurt or not. So there are 10 customers, and we have their gender, marital status, income level, and whether they bought Greek yogurt or not. As you can see, gender consists of female or male. later we can assign number 0 to female or number 1 to female and number 1 to male or number 2 male, something like that. So gender is discrete, marital status single, married, divorced, discrete, or because they are categorical. Income level low, average, high, so categorical, so discrete again. But yes or no, categorical, so discrete. So all the variables are discrete, and therefore when we examine the relationship between these discrete variables, we will use cross tabulation or decision tree. Then first, because they are discrete, we need to take a look at them one by one using frequency. So here, but there are 10 customers, and out of 10, 3 customers bought. And in case of gender, 7 customers are male, and you can check the frequency of marital status. For example, 4 customers are single. In terms of income level, 4 customers are low level, something like that. So we can check the frequencies of each discrete variable in this way, and we will practice SPSS next time. So here our goal is to determine whether gender, marital status, and income level affect but or not. Then there are 2 ways. If I want to look at the relationship like individually, like gender and purchase, marital status and purchase, income level and purchase, then I will use 3 cross tabulations. However, if I want to know the combination of these 3 factors and the effect of the combination on decision, then we will use decision tree. Or collectively, if we want to understand the effects of these 3 factors, gender, marital status, and income level collectively, then we will use decision tree. Then let's take a look at the examples of cross tabulation. Again, we will practice SPSS next time. This is a typical type of cross tabulation, and there are many numbers, so we need to take a look at them very carefully. First, as we know, there are 10 customers. Where we already looked at that in case of bought variable, 3 people bought Greek yogurt. In terms of gender, 7 customers were male, something like that. So cross tabulation is nothing but a combination of 2 frequency tables. So later we will mainly interpret these cells. So let's interpret the meanings of this cross tabulation in this slide. So we mainly focus on these numbers. So first, when you look at the row total, we found that the total number of customers is 10 here. 30% of them bought the product. So if you take a look at this, so 30%, while 70% of them did not buy the product, like this. Then let's take a look at the purchase count or frequency row by row in terms of gender. So when gender is female, there are 3 female customers and 0% of them bought the product. And when I look at the male customer, there are 7 male customers. Among them, 3 people purchased Greek yogurt. So 42.8% 8% of them bought the product. Therefore, what we can know is if we take a look at the data in total, the purchase rate is only 30%. But by segment these people in terms of gender, we learned that female customers did not buy at all, while some male customers bought the products. So we can tell that male customers are more likely to purchase the product. In this case, we say that the variable gender and birth are related because depending on the role in gender or depending on the category in gender, the purchase rates are different. If the purchase rates are similar, like 30% and 30%, different cost segments behave similarly, so we do not need to segment them eventually. And why don't you interpret these two cross tabulation, especially focusing on the purchase rate by marital status and purchase rate by income level. In decision tree and in other analysis, interpreting cross tabulation is really important. So please practice by yourself. Now let's take a look at the example of decision tree using the same data, like 10 customers, and out of 10, only 3 people purchased. We can divide or split the consumers on the average income attribute or variable like this. First steps. So as you can see, in income level low customer segment, nobody purchased. Income level high segment, nobody purchased. Only customers in the segment income level is average. 3 people, but actually this number is the same as this. So we know that income level is an important factor to distinguish consumers who bought and who did not buy. Then we will take a look at this segment further because we have other variables. So because income level low and high segment did not purchase Greek yogurt, we will skip that part. And then we further split people in income level average segment in terms of their marital status. So single, married, and divorced. So when you take a look at the numbers in number of purchasers in each segment, when if consumers are single, 2 people bought, and actually there are 2 customers in that segment. When the marital status is divorced, 1 person purchased, and in fact there is only 1 person in that segment. Here married, out of 1, no one purchased the Greek yogurt. Therefore, we can kind of summarize the classification rule, or we can characterize consumers who purchased Greek yogurt. That is, income level is average, marital status is single or divorced. So we can characterize them by looking at the number of purchasers in each segment, or in decision tree, each segment is called node. Therefore, promotion activities and advertising should be aimed some segments like at average income, single or divorced customers for increasing sales amounts. They are the two nodes or segments. Or if you want to develop a new market, you may want to aim at low, high income customers. They are here and here. Or average income married customers here. The reason is because in these nodes or in these segments, people did not buy. Therefore, they could be one of new markets. So, for example, you can lower a price a lot for low income customer, or you introduce premium products for high income customers.